I'm Carlos Ramos. I'm CIO for the state of California and Director of the Department of Technology. I'm really excited about this job, about my job, because as Director of Technology, I get to set a vision and a direction for the state in the way that it invests in and engages in the use of technology to serve the people of the state of California. The government of the 21st century really relies on technology in order to be able to engage with and to serve constituents. So my job is to make sure that agencies and departments make good investments when they use technology, that they look at what people do in their day-to-day lives, how they use technology, whether it's to communicate, to transact business, to consume and download entertainment and information, and figure out if there's ways government can leverage those trends. Find ways that we can connect with consumers in a way that they're used to and that they expect. A couple of examples where I think California government has got it right is in the use of mobile apps. One of the things that we've done is we're the first state in the nation to establish a government mobile app store. And the idea is to find out what is it that consumers need from government, make it available to them in a mobile platform, and put it out there and make it available for free. It's been very successful. We get lots of use of the mobile apps that we have in our mobile app gallery, and it's a new way for government to connect with its constituents. The other aspect of my job that I really love is working with the state's technology workforce. They're very dedicated, very smart group of people, and they're committed to making government work for the people, by the people, and leveraging the technology that people use in their day-to-day lives.
Hello, I'm Kathalia Robinette, and I'm with eRepublic. We are the proud producer of Government Technology Conference, the Digital Government Summits, Government Technology Magazine, Governing Public CIO Emergency Management, our Center for Digital Government, and our Center for Digital Education. And I am really happy to be here today to talk about our collaboration with the state of California, and specifically Carlos Ramos and his office. Technology is really important to the success of this state. And I think they've done a great job of representing technology and improving it and putting together better processes and a lot of project management. He has really embraced the private sector, taken a lot of the feedback from the companies that serve the state. He's been very interested in procurement reform, looking at things differently, embracing the cloud, looking to the web, and looking at ways that he can really work with private sector to change California for the better. So we love our partnership with them, and we look forward to many, many more years of prosperous collaboration.
The California Department of Healthcare Services has benefited from California's vision for statewide technology for many years. The Department of Healthcare Services and Department of Technology partnership has taken on a new value and leveraged greater innovation to achieve our vision and mission. Our healthcare innovation strategy was partially born out of confidence in the Department of Technology's continued commitment to integration and innovation. Today, more than ever, the department relies on specialized tools to manage our portfolio of change. These are the same tools that many of the Health and Human Services departments depend on for their success. Department of Technology Services is making our vision for technology, reuse, and reduction of reality by providing SaaS and cloud implementations. Our department is looking forward to growing our partnership with the Department of Technology as we respond to an increasing demand for information security and availability. Our department understands the next generation demand and the ability to have access to data from anywhere. So the department is moving forward with the development of mobile applications, and we will be part of the partnership with the Department of Technology as we share solutions. We are counting on the continued quality, value, and performance of the Department of Technology to help us forge new levels of health information exchange.
I think the Department of Technology and its secretary sits at a very valuable intersection between the need for valuable government services, the technology industry, and all of the challenges or problems or issues that we're facing and trying to solve in terms of better delivery of government services. Because of their unique position and their role to both serve and support agencies and departments like mine, they have the ability to balance all of the interests between servicing and supporting us and also providing some oversight and valuable consultative role. One of the unique experiences for me professionally at the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and working with Secretary Ramos as well as his Department of Technology is that they have a keen understanding, I believe, that operators like myself, government officials like myself, aren't necessarily interested always in better technology. What we are interested in is the ability to deliver vital government services to the public in the most efficient way that we possibly can and in the most meaningful way. They understand that. They understand that technology is a solution or a tool to the path, that we don't do technology as a solution or for the sake of it, but that we actually use these for the strict purpose of providing those services in the most effective way that we can. And I really don't think you can ask for a group of folk that have a better understanding of that than the current folks there.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's all join hands in welcoming Carlos Ramos, Director and State CIO, California Department of Technology.
Good afternoon. It's nice to be back with all of you. It was nice to be invited back by APSIA from last year. So you've heard a lot of the other speakers talk about leadership in government. And I get to talk to you about leadership in government as well, but from the perspective of leading in the area of technology. I think you've heard from Director Shimoto from DMV about the technologies that they're looking at, as well as a number of the other departments that you've heard from. There's a couple of interesting things when you look at leadership through technology. One is that in addition to the leadership principles that you've already heard in all of the other areas, it's also important when you're looking at leadership in technology to understand a couple of things that really serve you well. One is that technology is a very powerful tool. It's a powerful tool for change, but ultimately that's what it is. It's a tool. Really, it's a tool that's meant to be there to support government programs in their delivery of services and information to constituents. Secondly, it's important to understand that technology initiatives in California especially, but in government generally, are really complex. So you can't do it by yourself. It really requires teamwork and the collaboration among departments and among different agencies in order to be able to reach out to consumers. And I think finally, it's important to recognize that technology itself has changed the way consumers behave. It's changed the way that they do things in their day-to-day lives. I think you heard a little bit about a minute ago from Secretary Batcher about the impact on the millennials coming into the workforce. Well, millennials have a different way of doing things. A lot of it is because they grew up as digital natives. But it's not just them. It's impacting the way we do things generally as a culture. I'm going to share with you my own story of understanding the change and seeing that impact firsthand. First of all, let's have a little audience participation here. How many of you are under age 25? Okay, don't be ashamed. We won't embarrass you too bad. Do you know what that is? You recognize that? Okay, how many of you that are not under 25, I'm not going to ask you how old you are, recognize that, right? All of you, everybody else, right? You've heard of the saying, let your fingers do the walking. So I want to tell you a story. I have a son that's in college, and a couple years ago I took him off, got him moved in, got him into the dorms, et cetera, et cetera. So went back home, and a couple days later I'm at work, and I get a call, and it's from my son. Now, you know, college-age kids, they don't call you when they want to communicate with you, right? If they want to send you a message or get word to you, how do they do it? Text, right? So if they call you, it's one of two things, right? One of them is, need money, right? The other one is, hey, something's going on, or I have some trouble here. So I thought, okay, so if he's calling me, something must be up. So I called him up, or picked up the phone. I was actually in a meeting at the time. So I'm like, hey, what's up, son? He goes, hey, Dad, you know, today's the day of my cell phone upgrade, right? And so, and here's the thing about teenage boys. I don't know if it's the same with girls. Boys do not know anything. He didn't know when he was supposed to, you know, make the dorm down payment, when was the day to register for classes, when classes started, none of that. But I guarantee you, ask any teenager, when are you due for a cell phone upgrade? They will know down to the minute, you know, March 13th at 12:54 p.m. And so sure enough, he's like, hey, it's time for my cell phone upgrade. I'm like, okay, son, I'm in a meeting. Go ahead and do your cell phone. Well, how do I do it? And I'm like, well, just go to the cell phone store, Give them my name, give them my phone number, and they can upgrade you. Okay, but where is it? I'm like, well, we were driving around. I know I saw one close to the campus. Just find it. Look it up. He's like, well, we haven't set up our internet connection in the dorm room yet. I'm like, okay, well then go down to the library and go get on there and look it up there. He's like, oh, well, you have to go get a card before you can use the things over the line and get an ID. And by this point, I'm getting a little frustrated because I really am in a meeting. I'm like, Sam, well, just look it up. Look it up in the phone book. Look it up in the yellow pages. And he's like, the what? I said, in the yellow pages. He goes, what's that? And I said, the phone book. And so he's like, are you talking about the little book that came with the phone? Because I left that at home. I seriously thought he was messing with me. And so, I got all mad. Then I realized, oh, wait a minute. This guy's probably never used a phone book in his life, right? So how does he do it? How does the millennial generation do it, right? They're used to looking things up through this. And I think about this. He's done things a little differently than I have. He's never probably used a phone book to look up a phone number. He's probably never listened to music on a CD, let alone an LP or a tape, right? He doesn't know what film is. If you talk to him about dropping off a roll of film, he'd be like, what are you talking about, right? But it's not just that generation, it's our generation as well. I was thinking about this, right? So he does periodically call me up and ask me for money. So when he does, I have to transfer money into his account, but I can't remember the last time I went into a bank branch to do that. I did it online, or I did it on my phone. And how many of us would say the same thing, right? We do things differently, whether it's consume entertainment, whether it's doing our banking, whether it's doing our shopping. We do things differently, and primarily we do it through mobile technologies. The way we communicate, somebody was talking about, kids don't really talk to each other. They can be sitting next to each other on the couch and they'll be sitting there texting, right? They don't go outside and play games anymore. They're online doing things playing words with friends. So the thing that we have to recognize if you're in government and you're going to use technologies is that technology has fundamentally changed California and the way California consumers operate, and especially consumer-facing technologies. There's statistics that say last year we reached something like 7 billion mobile connections and devices in the world. You know what the population of the world is estimated to be? 7.1 billion. So we have almost as many connected mobile devices as we have people in the planet. And if you look at data traffic last year, data traffic from a mobile perspective increased by 81%. And we're starting to see those trends here in California as well. As you can see here, the vast majority of the calls that come into our 911 centers come from mobile devices. Traffic on our mobile sites has also grown quite a bit. So what we've come to realize in government is folks are addicted to technology, and they're specifically addicted to mobile technologies. Here's even more proof. How many of you have heard of the game Would You Rather? Right? So a couple of you, right? So it's a game where you say, okay, you give people a choice. Would you rather have A or B? Right? So it could be something like, would you rather have the power to fly or the power to read people's minds? Now when we were growing it up and I was playing with my brothers, we'd always try and come up with really bad choices. Like, okay, would you rather smack your finger with a hammer or drop a bowling ball on your bare feet? Right? So it's something really untenable. So this group called the Pew Internet Research Center, they did a poll. They went out and polled a bunch of people in the United States and they said, what would you rather do? And I'm going to ask the audience to participate here. Would you rather give up coffee or would you rather give up your cell phone? How many would rather give up coffee? Okay, about what most Americans do. More than half would give up coffee rather than their cell phone. How about this one, especially for you ladies? How many of you would rather give up chocolate than your cell phone? Show of hands. Would it surprise you to know that almost 63%? How about something a little harder, okay? Would you rather give up your toothbrush versus your cell phone? How many of you would do that? Show of hands. Would it surprise you to know that 22% said they would rather give up your toothbrush? You think that's something? Look at this one. So really, this tells you people are addicted to their cell phones. People are mobile. People do things a little differently. Now let me see, show of hands. How many, see that last one? I want to see a show of hands. How many of you think that if you're willing to give up your toothbrush, you probably really aren't going to have much of a chance for that last one anyway? So people are into their mobile technology. So if we in government, if we're going to leverage technology to serve our consumers, we have to know that. We have to take that into account. And so as we invest in technologies, we have to make government mobile. And so really that's one of the things that we've focused on. I talked about it in the little intro video. California has focused on making government mobile. I want to showcase for you a couple of the things that we're doing, and really end with telling you a little bit more about our mobile app gallery. But when we published our state IT strategic plan, the very first strategic objective that we laid out there was to make California government more mobile and more accessible to consumers. And so, by doing that, we thought, okay, we have to fundamentally rethink the way we invest in technologies. It's not enough to invest in technologies just for our own workforce. We have to invest in technologies for the benefit of our consumers. And as I pointed out, our consumers are a mobile consumer. So what we did is we put tablets. We looked at our tablet policies and said, okay, we got to tweak those. Now we have tablets in the hands of our field inspectors. We have tablets in the hands of our ag inspectors, of our field engineers, of our doctors and nurses out in our hospitals, in the state hospitals, so that they can provide better care for their patients and they can be more effective in their jobs. We also gathered a team of very smart people, coders, people that knew about new technologies, to develop a template, a mobile app template, and said, okay, if we want to get agencies to put their services and their information, their transactions in a mobile platform, let's make it easy for them. Let's develop a mobile app template that we can put in their hands, we can give it to them for free, that'll work on any device, and then encourage them to put their apps in that form. By doing that, we shaved down the time of development down, in some cases, to just a couple of hours. Mostly, a couple of days, at the most a week or so. But we've developed a template that now other state agencies are using, other states have borrowed our apps, and even some local governments. And then finally, I think what our showpiece case has been the development of our own mobile app store. We thought, okay, consumers are used to going out and getting a mobile app, and where do they go? They go to the Google Play Store, they go to the Apple Store, right? To the iPhone or iTunes to download mobile apps. Let's make it easy for them. Let's develop a mobile app gallery that we can have for the state of California, where we get all of our mobile apps in there. And we have literally dozens and dozens of them in there now. So I'm going to end with a little video that showcases what we do with our mobile app.
Welcome to this presentation of the redesigned California Mobile Gallery. The California Mobile Gallery has a modern, consistent look and feel with industry-standard functionality that includes the following. The mobile gallery content automatically adapts to any device such as a smartphone or tablet, while providing a user-friendly interface for PC users as well. Users can easily locate apps within the categories on the sidebar. Also note how the sidebar adapts seamlessly for different screen sizes. For smaller screens, the user simply selects the icon in the upper corner to access the sidebar. California's mobile apps can now be searched or located within the gallery by searching the major browsers with keywords like DMV, registration, license, etc. Apps are displayed and grouped by the specific platform that they are developed in, whether it be Android, iOS, or as a mobile web design which is compatible with most devices. Apps listed in the gallery have a consistent look and feel. Each app page features the app name, department, a description, a QR code, and rotating screenshots of the app to give users a feel for what the app will look like on their device. The Launch feature opens the mobile web app immediately. The Install feature provides directions for users to save the app shortcut and icon to their device's screen. There are directions for both iOS and Android. Device-specific apps will send users directly to the iTunes Store or Google Play for download. The California Mobile Gallery now has a means for citizens to submit suggestions, ideas, and feedback. The input is delivered to a mailbox directly to Enterprise Solutions, where the mobile gallery is maintained. Enhanced data analytics for the entire mobile gallery are also built behind each app. The analytics are not just for site visits to the mobile gallery, but are now provided at the app level as well. While the California Mobile Gallery's enhancements represent a significant redesign, Enterprise Solutions is continually researching new display features for the apps listed within the mobile gallery, as well as new mobile apps in the future that will provide Californians with access at their convenience wherever they are. Thank you for viewing this presentation of the California Mobile Gallery.
So again, teamwork, understanding the power of technology to change, and then a recognition of the way consumers do their business now, to use technology to make government more accessible and make sense to consumers. Thank you very much.